Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Friday, June 27th, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com or the Experts tab. There's also a link in the description. Alright, here we go. Here are the games for Friday, Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the New York Mets taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. David Peterson and Mitch Keller are the starters. We know the Mets have not been playing their best baseball in the last 3-4 plus series, and overall this season on the road, they've not been a great team. They're 3 games below 500. The Pirates' home record at 20-21 is better than the Mets' road record at 19-22. And, Mitch Keller has struggled this year in terms of the Pirates winning his games. He's actually been pretty serviceable, 4.02 ERA. He's been decent in recent games, but the Pirates failed to back him up offensively or in the bullpen. But David Peterson's also not in great form right now. You look at his last 2 games, 8 runs combined in 11 innings against the Phillies and the Braves. Much tougher lineups than the Pittsburgh Pirates, but the Mets have dropped 3 of his last 4 games. He's somebody that over the last couple of years has had pretty steep expected numbers, and we've talked about the regression concerns in his game. I worry that we're seeing that now, and I think that the Pirates are the play in this one at a pretty good price, especially the fact that they got the day off on Thursday, while the Mets had to play the evening game against the Braves after a pretty grueling 4-game series against their rivals. So give me the Pirates in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Athletics and the Yankees. We've got Mitch Spence and Will Warren as the starters. Spence has been solid this season, but didn't pitch very well in his last game. I think the Yankees are just too much in this matchup. Will Warren's been pretty sharp as of late. He had a couple of games in a row where he did struggle against the rivals in the Dodgers and the Red Sox, but since then he's been in much better form. He's got good strikeout numbers. I think he's a much better option in this game, and I think the Yankees win this game and cover the run line at Yankee Stadium. Next up, we've got the Rays and the Orioles. Ryan Pepiot and Tomoyuki Sugano are the starters. Ryan Pepiot at the beginning of the season was giving up a lot of sharp contact, but he also wasn't missing a lot of bats. His strikeout numbers were down, and that's just a deadly combination for a pitcher like Pepiot. But recently, while he's still giving up the occasional home run ball, he's missing a lot more bats. He's earning those strikeouts, 7+ Ks in 4 straight games. The Rays have won 3 of his last 4 games, including a win over these Orioles and one of the best records in baseball in the Detroit Tigers. In his last game against the Orioles back on June 16th, it was 8 innings of 1 run, 11 strikeout baseball. Ended up being a 7-1 blowout win. That was at the hitter-friendly Steinbrenner Field. And I know it's never easy facing the same lineup in about 10 days, and Sugano did not have to face the Rays in that series, but I still think Pepiot is the much better option in this game. The Rays lineup has crushed right-handed pitching in the last month. I don't love Sugano's current form. I don't love Sugano overall this season, so I'm going to roll the Rays in this one on the money line on the road. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres taking on the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Dylan Cease and Nick Martinez as the starters. I've mentioned many times this season and over the years on Ron's Rundown, I don't think Nick Martinez is a viable starting pitching option at the major league level. I think he's much better suited as a reliever in this rotation or in other teams' rotations if the Reds decide to move on from him. But when you look at Martinez, last 2 games, 3 innings of scoreless baseball in 2 different bullpen appearances. Last one against the Yankees, 1 inning, 1 strikeout, and it ended up being a 6-1 Reds win. He's now getting the start in this game, and while his last start he gave up 7 runs and 3 home runs to the Minnesota Twins, I'm going to back Martinez in this spot. It's a rare situation for us because we've done really well fading him as a starter this year, but the fact is Dylan Cease has not pitched well against his current Reds lineup. He's not pitched well on the road this season with an ERA above 6. His last road game, he got crushed against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Reds have good numbers against right-handed pitching. So for me, while I think that Martinez could, and also another thing to mention, Martinez has great numbers against his current Padres lineup in about 90 plate appearances, which is a pretty healthy sample size. So while I don't think Martinez will be perfect, I think the Reds will back him up. I think they'll do enough damage offensively to win this game. So I'm going to back Nick Martinez and the Reds on the money line in this one. Next up, we got the St. Louis Cardinals and the Cleveland Guardians. Sonny Gray and Luis Ortiz are the starters. We've mentioned many times that Luis Ortiz has been one of the toughest pitchers to read this season. He's been very inconsistent. He was struggling, but then his last game was one of his best starts of his career. He had 10 strikeouts in a shutout and 6 innings of work in a 4-2 Guardians win over the A's. I think Ortiz is going to be okay in this game, and I think that he's going to get some run support. Sonny Gray's not been great on the road this season. He's got a 2.76 ERA at home this year with a 5-1 record. You put him away from Busch Stadium, though, that ERA balloons to 5.88 with a 26 innings and a 284 points batting average. I got to roll with the Guardians in this one. I also trust their bullpen more in this series, so give me Cleveland on the money line. Next up, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Boston Red Sox. We got Brian Bayo and Jose Barrios as the starters. I think Barrios is the better starting pitching option in this game. We've talked about the regression concerns and the steep expected numbers for Brian Bayo this year. Even his last game, where it was a good outing on paper, 6 innings of 1 earned run baseball, he still gave up 2 home runs in that game. Ended up being a Red Sox loss, and they've lost 4 of his last 5 games now. You're going up against tough Blue Jays lineup that has not been great on the road this season. Toronto does have a losing record on the road, while the Red Sox have won at Fenway Park. But I still think Toronto is the better team here, the better starting pitching option, the better lineup. I think the bullpen goes to Boston in terms of the advantage, but I'm going to go with the Blue Jays in this one on the money line. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. We got Mick Abel and Bryce Elder as the starters. I'm going to lean towards the Phillies in this game. I obviously don't love the current form for either of these starting pitching options, but I think Abel has more upside to his game. I think the Phillies lineup is also a little bit more trustworthy. I like the fact that the Phillies played an afternoon game. Both of these teams had to travel after a game on Thursday, but the Phillies played in the afternoon against the Astros, while the Braves were in Citi Field against their rivals in the Mets in a late evening game. I'm going to roll the Phillies in this one on the money line on the road. I trust their lineup a little bit more against Bryce Elder. Next up, we've got the San Francisco Giants and the Chicago White Sox. Landon Roop and Aaron Savale are your starters. Savale's first 2 games with his new club in the Chicago White Sox, he goes a combined 12 innings, 15 hits, 7 runs, and 2 home runs. 5 walks to go with it in 2 White Sox losses, 2-1 and 7-1 on the road against the Rangers and Blue Jays. So this is going to be his first start to get guaranteed rate field. I don't really love him in this matchup. I mean, I don't think this Giants lineup has proven a lot as of late, but I still think they are the better team offensively. I think Landon Roop is the better starting pitching option by a good margin, even though he's been a lot better at Oracle Park than he's been on the road. I think the San Francisco wins this in a close, low-scoring game, but I think the Giants win it on the money line, so give me San Francisco. Next up, the Seattle Mariners and the Texas Rangers. We've got Logan Gilbert and Nathan Eovaldi as the starters. Logan Gilbert, last game, 4 runs, 3 home runs, but I'm not too worried about it at all, really, because it was at Wrigley Field where the wind was blowing way out and it was scorching hot temperatures, really close to 100 degrees in Chicago that day. It was just a great hitter-friendly situation, and Gilbert still had 6 strikeouts and still was good enough for the Mariners to win that game 14-6. That leads me to my next thing. The Mariners lineup against right-handed pitching in the last month is heating up, and Eovaldi, his first start back since May 27th. I think he pitches well, but I don't see him going too deep into this ball game. I think the Mariners take this game on the money line on the road. I think Gilbert's a slightly better option. Mariners have the better bullpen and the better lineup to go with it. Next up, the Chicago Cubs and the Houston Astros. We got Cade Horton and Brandon Walter as the starters. Similar to what we mentioned about Logan Gilbert struggling at Wrigley Field, Cade Horton pitched in that same series against Seattle, and he struggled. Three earned runs in 4 2/3. Really wasn't that bad of an outing. No home runs given up. He only had 2 strikeouts. I'd like to see Horton miss some more bats going forward. He's well under a strikeout per inning right now in his first 41 innings this season, but as long as he can limit the sharp contact, hasn't given up a home run in 4 straight games, I think he's going to be good enough in this matchup. I think the Cubs lineup is going to back him up. I know the Astros have been a great home team, but the Cubs are still a winning road team. I think they win this game at Daikin Park, so give me the Cubs on the money line. Next up, we've got the Rockies and the Brewers. We've got Jose Quintana for Milwaukee, but no official starter right now for Colorado. Now, usually when the Rockies are coming off a Coors Field series, I'm not looking towards the over at all, usually leaning towards the under in a lot of these situations, but I actually lean towards the over in this game because I think the Rockies can do a little bit of damage against Jose Quintana, who has struggled at American Family Field this year. He's been a little bit inconsistent as of late, and his expected numbers are a little bit steep. I think the Rockies, who have been pretty good against lefties recently, can do some damage, but I think most of the heavy lifting will come from the Brewers. I don't love this Rockies pitching staff right now. The bullpen really wasn't an issue at the beginning of the season. As the season's carried on, hasn't been the best at times, and that rotation we know has really struggled. So give me the over in Rockies-Brewers. Next up, we've got the Dodgers and the Royals. We've got Dustin May and Noah Cameron as the starters. Yeah, I kind of view this as a sleepy spot for the Dodgers. We're coming off the Coors Field series. You got Dustin May on the mound, who's not really been that great as of late, giving up 3 home runs his last game. Noah Cameron on the other side for the Royals, pretty good pitching option. The Dodgers have not been anything special on the road this season. A small winning record, but you got to remember a few of those wins were, technically road wins in the Tokyo series against the Cubs. I just think that the Royals here are the play. At this kind of price, I think the value lies with KC, so I'm going to lean towards the Royals in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Angels and the Nationals. We've got Jake Irvin and Jose Soriano as the starters. Jose Soriano is on a tear right now. He's had 3 straight 6+ inning performances against the Yankees, Athletics, and Astros. 1 run given up at most in those games. 2 runs combined, those 3 starts, with a ton of strikeouts, no home runs. The control's been solid, and all 3 were Angels victories. They've won 4 of his last 5 games. He's been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. You take that 1 bad start against the Red Sox out of the picture, he has been on a tear, and I think that he's going to be the better option by a good margin in this game. Jake Irvin was okay in his last start. He's not been the greatest on the road this season with an ERA just below 5. I think the Angels get to him early and often. Give me the Angels on the money line and run line. And the final game we're to talk about for the Friday card in Major League Baseball, it's the Marlins and the Diamondbacks. We've got Yuri Perez and Merrill Kelly as the starters. Now, I've backed the Marlins plenty of times recently. In that Giants series, we found some good value with the Marlins in that series, taking a couple of games outright. But I think that this is a tough one for Miami. Perez is not really in the best form. Kelly is pitching really well, and I think the Diamondbacks have a big-time lineup and even bullpen advantage. We don't say that too often for Arizona, but the Marlins bullpen was used quite a bit in that Giants series. We know the extra innings game, where the Marlins had a lead, blew it, and they went to extra innings. They took over and won that game, but they had to use a lot of their high leverage guys for back-to-back games or 2 of the last 3 games. So in this spot in Arizona, I think it's a tough situation for the Marlins. Give me the Diamondbacks on the run line at home. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.